audio kept sounding choppy on the playbacks.
Yeah, I did notice that.
But it doesn't sound like that when I'm talking to you. Weird.
You're good.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you're good
Um,
with that.
so what's up? What's on the agenda tonight, Drew?
Oh, I don't know. They're talking about Transformers 86 back in theaters. Uh
Okay.
that happened recently. And they said that it's 20 minutes longer. I have no idea what that means because they're saying there's no missing scenes, but I'm like, if there's no missing scenes or added scenes, so far from what they know, that can't be true because why is it 20 minutes longer?
It has to be. There's no way it can't be.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty jazzed for that. I always thought the movie was cool. I didn't like, of course, I didn't like the death of the Transformers, but we all, as we got older, we all found out what happened. Which was a studio move because they didn't want to pay any more for the original characters that we like from Japan, the
Hmm.
toys and stuff. So they were like, well, we got another batch of toys that are cheaper to do. And that's how you ended up with Hot Rod and Springer and Blur and Cup and RC. That's and Ultra Magnus. That's how you ended up with them because they didn't want to get into the licensing rights anymore. So then they just killed off all the G1 characters, exception of a few, I guess, could escape. Blaster, Jazz, Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, uh, the Dinobots. Uh,
The death of Optimus Prime was like one of their biggest faux pas because they ended up going back and bringing him back because they're like, dude, the ratings are kind of tanking right now. We need to have our main guy back.
yeah, that was a bad move by them. I mean, to kill off Prime and kill off Megatron, like, even though Megatron technically he gets rebuilt, but
Yeah.
it's different. Megatron and Galvatron are very different. So, I mean, to have your main breadwinners of the whole franchise, and then some of the executives were so far removed from the show, they didn't know how popular Optimus Prime was, which is the stupidest thing I had ever heard in my life.
He's
I'm
like
like,
the main
yeah,
guy. Like he was the guy.
yeah, him and Megatron were it for the bad guys, good for the good guys. How do they not know this? Even Starscream had his popularity.
Yeah.
It's like you can't, Ironhide. At least for me, he was popular. I loved Ironhide. Peter Cullen also did the voice for Ironhide too.
I wonder what the voice recording situation is when you're doing multiple characters. You just react to your own recordings? Is that how that works?
They record it separately usually, so you do usually one character. Because how it was broken down to me, by Chris Potter, he told me like when who's the voice of Gambit, the
Yeah.
original voice, everybody. He had said that I think it was Norm Spencer who did Cyclops, the original Cyclops, who's unfortunately passed away, rest in peace, and Cal Dodd who did Wolverine, and he said those two guys usually were known for doing a lot of different voices, and
Hmm.
so they would kind of be like, well, they'd fight over which one gets the extra work to do, random senator or a very well named character. And they said, we don't have anybody. So between you guys, we'll use you guys for the voices. So they would try to pick up as many characters as they could.
Hmm.
So, when he's doing Cyclops, he'll do that initially, probably first, and then he'll do his other character later, usually, depending on who shows up first. It kind of depends on what they work on first on the show. If they need that voice, then it might be the other character. But yeah, they just do the voices separately and they put them together, you
Do
know.
do voice actors get paid like scale or do they get paid like per their value? Because I've noticed that like Frank Walker, he did like Ray on the Ghostbusters and he did like Fred on Scooby Doo and yeah, just like
He did
so
Slimer
many
too.
did Slimer, but like do they get paid? Like they do a lot of different shows and voices. Is that because they get paid less, or it's easier work?
That's a very good question. From what I understand, and I'm not a voice actor, everybody, but from what I understood about it was that depending on it really depended on how much the studio was willing to shell out for money. Um, in the case of the X Men, the show was approached like an actual show, you know, like the way that's why the actors it was taken more seriously, you know, so
Yeah,
the acting, the voice was more seriously. So for that, you're bringing in like accomplished actors to do this voice,
yeah,
you know, and so from what I understood, it was more like an acting kind of scale where they got paid pretty good for what they did.
yeah,
Um,
but not like they're not making $1 million.
I don't think so. You know, I think they're doing pretty good, but I don't think they're making $1 million unless the show does really well and they cut them in on some of that. And that kind of, you know, that kind of varies depending on what's going on when they're doing that show. You know, it really depends on what the studios want to do. You know, how much you're going to go at the time. Like Marvel for their animation stuff at the time, um, they weren't really cranking out a lot of money. You know, money wise
Hmm.
for a lot of the stuff that was going on. And then when the crash happened, oh, they definitely weren't. You know, they definitely weren't going to put out a lot of money. DC, Batman, Superman, those properties, they had Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers was always pumping money into those properties, a lot of money, and they had a lot of backing. Where Marvel didn't, they were kind of on their own, you know, and so. Mhm.
DC was constantly making those like one-off movies, DVD releases, like Death of Superman, like Batman versus Dracula, like Justice League. You're totally right. DC put out a lot of content.
Yeah, and even before that stuff happened, they just like on the Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney train, they Warner Brothers would put money into things just naturally because of what had happened from the first movie. So they naturally put money into their properties,
Mhm.
and they were a constant machine. You know, Marvel at that time they didn't have a contract with anybody, not at the time. You know, that when X-Men animated, Spider-Man animated was going, they didn't have a deal to do. That's why they had those Fox, remember those Fox lower budget films, the Generation X live action movies,
I
stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I do remember that a little bit. Like Young
Yeah.
Mutants, did they do that stuff too? Like,
Yeah, they did. Okay, so they did Generation X, and then they did the Nick Fury movie where David Hasselhoff was Nick Fury.
okay.
Uh,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I've seen both. You know, I've seen both of them. So they did a few movies here and there, but that's why the promotion only went so far because they really didn't have a whole lot of backing when they were surviving off the you know the X-Men success when Jim Lee did number one and it sold between 8.3 to 8.7 million copies when they
Yeah.
were before and they were at stock options before the bust happened when all those guys were still at Marvel or so riding off of that. That's when they really had something. Once the bust happened and the stock market dropped, all that stuff, then they didn't have anything, and that was the time when Marvel almost went in bankruptcy.
Hmm. Yeah,
And that's
no.
when
That's when Marvel was selling off the rights to like
mhm.
or they sold the rights to Spider-Man to Sony, and they sold the
Yeah.
rights to X-Men to Fox. And then remember when they did that Fantastic Four movie that never got released?
Yes.
Um yeah, they did that Fantastic Four movie that never got released. And there's a documentary on Tubi, I think, that's about that movie.
Doomed. Yeah, I have the
Doomed.
movie.
Yeah,
I
Doomed.
have the movie transferred on Blu-ray. I have the entire movie.
It's pretty. Wait, you have the Fantastic Four film.
Yeah, I can grab it off my shelf. I got it.
That see now that's interesting because I think the only time I ever saw that was maybe a bootleg off of YouTube or something.
Yeah,
Um,
they remastered it on a Blu-ray transfer, and I've got it. Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah,
the guys who made that movie, like the Fantastic Four, the people themselves were like, you could tell that they were like, yeah, Stan Lee was coming on set and he was bringing us donuts and stuff and talking about us, and I was really excited. And then like there was a
yeah.
certain point where he's like, kind of stopped showing up on set. He stopped showing up on set, and then like there you could just tell there was like something was going on with the movie, and then it eventually got shelved, man. Just like Batgirl.
Oh yeah, that was, and see, that was a big production.
Yeah, it was. And
Yeah,
Brendan Fraser, Michael
yeah.
Keaton came back. Um, I don't know what that was all about. I think it was just a tax write off situation.
That whole production was weird because nobody can ever really say like what exactly happened and what's going to happen to the movie because I mean they pretty much finished it from what
Hmm.
I understand. So like, is it ever coming out? You know, I saw Brendan. I've actually met Brendan Fraser, and
Really, that's
yeah, I'll
cool.
send you the picture.
He's a
He
nice
was he,
guy.
he's extremely nice. He's extremely nice because I said, "Well, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Fraser." He said, "Mr. Fraser." He's like, "Call me Brendan." He was like that.
Okay,
Yeah, he was
okay.
very nice. So, he was really nice to Luke and everything. He was really kind. But yeah, he had said that like, I did my parts. We were all excited to do this movie, and then they just kind of shelved it. And we don't even really know why. Like
Yeah.
what happened. It's. Did you know Bill and Ted was shelved too? The first one.
No, I didn't know that. What are you talking
They,
about?
yeah, they did the movie right, and the studio just didn't do a theatrical release on it until a year later
What? Why?
because they just I don't know. They just decided like maybe okay, well we need to put something out. Okay, well that movie we did we shelved. Okay, put it out. So
And it
because
was
they had it a
massive
year
hit.
done, yeah, and then it became huge, and
Yeah.
it was like sometimes that happens with movies. Like you find out like they got shelved, and then they release it later on, and then it becomes like this huge sensation,
Do
and
you
everybody's like, oh wow, cool.
do you remember going to the video store like in the late '90s, early 2000s, and like I don't know if this was just me, but like I would like be looking for a movie or whatever, and I'd be like, you'd see a movie with a star, like a big star, like
Yeah.
Stallone or Wesley Snipes or something, and you're like, I've never heard of this movie before in my life. Like, what the hell is this? Like, they were making straight to DVD movies. Like, why was? Do you even remember that? Like, that was happening a
I do.
lot in that era. What was
I
that all
do.
about?
Well, that was called the direct to home video market.
Yeah,
Companies they actually invested a lot of money. Lorenzo Lamas, I saw an interview with him. He was just remember Lorenzo Lamas, right?
Renegade.
Yeah. So he was saying he had a deal with production companies where they would make movies that would go straight to VHS, and it was a big market because people were always renting movies, and
Mm-hmm.
there was a bloodline, a pumping heart bloodline for like movies that went directly on video. That's why when you and I went to Blockbuster and Warehouse and Columbia House,
Yeah, Columbia House. I got a story about
yeah.
Columbia House.
Oh man, that's why their video stings were so stacked because they had all these movies that were going direct to video, and most of Lorenzo Lamas' stuff that went direct to video. A lot of his stuff,
Yeah,
minus the Renegade, television series. Um,
he was in Grease. He was in the first Grease.
Briefly, he said
Yeah,
like two words. Yeah,
he was like
that was it.
he was like the guy who was dating Sandy for about 5 seconds, and
Yeah.
he's not a bad looking guy, like very handsome.
Oh,
Uh,
Lorenzo Lamas was the stuff. His dad was known for being the Latin lover,
yeah,
Fernando Lamas.
yeah, that family has good genes, man, for sure.
They do. His dad, man, was a tough guy. He told some stories about him, like messing up some people back in the Hollywood day, like, going out in the back alley and like, slapping up some people. Like he was like that.
Just keeping them in line on a production and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't. He just beat up people. It was like, so the story was, I guess, like another guy had come in and disrespected Lana Turner.
Okay, yeah,
And it was Lana Turner and Ava Gardner. He disrespected both of them.
couple big
And
names.
Fernando was kind of like, trying to get rid of the guy, and the guy was like drunk and acting real stupid. So he was like, all right, well, here's what we're gonna do. Either you could leave or we could go, in the back like men, and we could
Yeah.
do it like this. And they went in the back, and they just said he mopped the floor. Fernando just mopped the floor with the guy. It was bad. And there was some other actor, I can't think of his name, but he was looking at him because it was two guys, right? So he was looking at him to back him up or
and he
just to
didn't.
kind of keep it at bay
And he
so it would
didn't
be
back
one
him
on
up.
one. And the guy did not. And Lorenzo was like, yeah, forget that guy,
Yeah.
because like he's like, he didn't even back up my dad.
Yeah.
But his dad was you know, all about that, being a man of honor. He took care of his family, but like Lorenzo had shared some stories about him kind of making some dicey decisions when his dad was around, and his dad would like he would talk to his dad. His dad would be like, "You what?" Like I think he posed for Playgirl or something like that,
Wait, who
and
who posed for Playgirl?
Lorenzo.
Oh, did
And
he?
his younger days, because remember he's on Falcon Crest,
Yeah, he
the
was.
TV
And
show.
did you know
Yeah,
Stallone did an adult movie too? Did you know that?
that's where the Italian Stallion thing came from. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I think the original name of that was like Two Nights at something something. It wasn't. They renamed it later after Rocky came out. But
yeah.
yeah, no, but I can't remember the name of the movie. But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but he was doing something with Playboy or Playgirl, and he didn't know, but the I think it was the Falcon Crest contract. It might have been that one where he had said that he said in the contract if he did anything dicey, the contract would be revoked and he'd get dropped automatically.
Okay.
So he had done this modeling shoot because he was at this gym, and I guess like the guy that worked for Playboy Playgirl was like, "Oh, you should pose and do that, and it'd be cool." And he was like, I guess how much is it paying? And it was some big dollar amount, so he agreed to do it. So he told his dad, and he was like, "But dad, if they look at this as something dicey, like they dropped me from my contract." And he was like, "You should have never made that decision." He's like, "You're gonna get kicked off the show." So he said his dad called up like this top level lawyer that he knew, and that lawyer went down to that studio where they had the
Okay.
negatives and everything, and she
Yeah.
got the negatives. She got the negatives and burned them and took care of the business and strike the fear of God into that guy. And he said, and then he called him and said, "Never do that again. Everything's taken care of. Make better decisions." That was, yeah. Fernando was no joke, man. And
Just went
so
down there and took care of business.
yeah,
Got the negative. Hey, in the chat, Aubrey Equestrian says, "Wow, I did Perry from Phineas and Ferb. I'm really popular." So I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. If you did, that's cool.
yeah.
Life with London says hi. So what's up with Life with London? How you doing? It's, Friday night. Any big doings going out on the town? What are we doing? What's up with Friday night? Uh, Drew,
Yeah.
Drew and I have our standing date night. We like to get together and stream at least 6, 7 times a week. Uh, we don't know where Johnny is tonight. We know that my girlfriend, fiance Nicole, is at a Taylor Swift cover band concert, so she's having a good time.
Does she call herself I found out that the Taylor Swift fans are called Swifty.
Oh yeah,
Is that
she
right?
definitely calls herself a Swiftie for sure. Yeah,
That's the stupidest
absolutely.
thing I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
she calls herself a Swiftie. There's a joke. They're like, hey, like when Travis Kelsey got married to Taylor Swift, they were like, is he going to hyphenate his name, Travis Kelsey Swift? Because she's like easily way more popular, way more financially well off. I can't imagine the prenup for that marriage, dude, because she's worth like
Oh my.
billions, right? It's got to have been a prenup.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine so. I don't know a lot about the girl besides the fact that she's some famous singer, and I just heard that they
Mm.
called the fans Swifties, and I was like, "What?" Because people are like, "You don't listen to Taylor Swift?" I'm like, am I a 12-year-old girl? Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm a 43-year-old man. What am I doing listening to Taylor Swift?
Well, I hope she's having a good time because she's been stuck in the house with me for the last like 2 weeks.
Yeah, if she's a
Yeah.
fan, I respect it and enjoy. Do your thing, have a good time, be a Swiftie. That's fine.
Yeah, that's dope.
Go do your thing. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I wouldn't get down with it, but you know,
um, so what? Oh, wait, what else is going on? What do you got any movies you want to do a watch along in the future? You got any ideas?
yeah. I said the Road Warrior was one.
Road
I
Warrior
remember. I don't know
would
if you
definitely be
remember
a good one.
last time. Yeah, Road Warrior would be good. Um, I think we should do uh probably Wrestling with Shadows would be a good one.
Yeah, dude. As a matter of fact, I might. You want to watch that now?
We
I'd watch.
technically we could.
I'd
We
watch
could
that with
technically.
dude. I'd watch that with you right now. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we could do something like that. And I was also thinking like we should do the first two-part episode of the original 92 X-Men series.
That would be dope too. That would be good too.
Yeah,
Um,
we got some stuff we
let
can
me.
get into.
I'm gonna pull up Wrestling with Shadows on YouTube right now. Give me like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
If I can find it, we'll do it, dude. And then we'll just talk about that and whatever you want to talk about. That sounds like fun.
Sounds
Wrestling
good.
with. There we go. Oh, here we go. Hitman Heart, Wrestling with Shadows. Let's see if it's here. I have the DVD if we need it. No, here it is. It's on YouTube, and it is. Oh boy, commercials, bruh. So it looks like in the chat, it looks like Drew and I are gonna watch Wrestling with Shadows. Bret the Hitman Hart, the story of him basically like being the man at the end there in '96, and then his departure after the screw job in '97. So hey,
Yeah.
High Road Productions. Let me go back real quick. Okay, I'm at zero,
Are they gonna
and
bust you for commercials?
they might have commercial. Yeah, they'll probably have commercials in this bitch.
Okay.
Um,
I'm trying to think. If I put in my version, there will be no commercials.
yeah, that's full. No, that's fat. You know what? As long as it's close, um, I have a DVD that I could put in. I'm actually. Let me see here. I'm looking at it right now. Do I want to get up? Is the problem? No.
Oh, what you got to deal
No.
with the commercials?
No, it's all right. We can talk in between breaks.
All
If you
right.
go to can you watch YouTube on your TV?
Yes.
Okay, so the video I'm watching is on Real Stories. So it's the channel is Real Stories. It's Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows, obviously. WWE Legend documentary. And
If
it's
you get
one
the Canadian version, like I got from Brett himself, like
oh
it comes with an Owen Hart special disc, and
I
it
got
comes with
I got that. I think I
okay.
got that. The death of Owen Hart.
Hmm.
I got that. Yeah,
Did you
for
manage
sure.
to get the Owen Hart set that WWE put out for a brief time?
No, I
I
wish.
have it. It's a and because there's a one disc and then there's the hard to find three disc. I have the three disc, and in it is the complete Stampede wrestling match, the complete version.
Okay.
Remember that one where it
I
was the Hart family and then Pillman, and then it was against Legion of Doom, Gold
yes,
Dust,
Stone
Ken
Cold.
Shamrock, and Stone Cold.
Yeah,
And remember they were in the Stampede in Canada in Calgary,
and
and like
then hey, somebody threw a Pepsi at somebody threw a Pepsi at Stone Cold, and Stone Cold thought it was Stu, or
yeah.
acted like he thought it was Stu, and Stu tried to actually put him in a wrestling hold.
Oh yeah, yeah. They show the whole thing. It's from beginning to the very end where the family gets in the ring and the whole crowd. Like they show everything, and it's on the Owen Hart set. It's called. I think it's the King of Heart set. So it has that on there. It's a really good set. But it was only out for a second. So and then I have the Hart Dynasty set where it walks through all the Hart family members. It has the match. It has the Knights match. It's on there.
Hmm.
And then I have the dungeon set, which is the last thing Brett did, where it has a lot of his WCW matches. A lot of the WWE stuff is on there. And then I have Shawn versus Brett, where it's
Mhm.
got them kind of talking together about their issues. And then it has a lot of matches on there too. And then I have the first set, of course, the best there is, the best there was, and best there ever will be set, which has a lot of great stuff. The Benoit and Bret Hart dungeon match at WCW is on there. So I've got all his stuff. I went around looking, and I have Mr. Perfect set too.
Yeah, I have the Mr. Perfect DVD where it talks about how he saved Wade Boggs' life, the baseball
Mhm.
player. Like, that Boggs was like stuck on that fence, that barbed wire fence, and he like Perfect like carried him all the way out of that like valley when they were elk hunting.
Yes, he did.
That's crazy, man. Wade Boggs was part of that vignette when when Perfect was hitting baseballs.
Yeah.
Wade Boggs was the one that they're like absolutely perfect. Like, he was a good athlete. He went to Normandale College. Did you know that in Minnesota?
Hmm.
Normandale was like a community college. Um, my brother went there. My brother went to Normandale College, and he said that they had a trophy case, and Kurt Hennig was all over it. The real Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, was all in that thing.
Because let's see, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew guys, all those guys, they all came out of there. So like the Legion of Doom or Road Warriors, whichever name you want to take.
Yeah.
Um, Rick Rude, Henning, Barry Darso, came out of there. There's a bunch of guys that just came out of that area, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah, they did.
Uh,
Well,
Jesse's
they
from there.
he
Jesse's
is,
from
but
Minnesota.
you, who's the dude? Who's the guy that was also from that area from the NW? Scott Norton, was that the guy?
Yeah, Norton was from there. Yeah.
Scott Landon Baby King says hi, hi again. Thanks, Landon. Oh, spamming the living shit out of us right now in the chat. We appreciate the interaction in the chat. Drew and I do. We're both men of honor, and if you say hi to us 8 times, we'll say hi 8 times back.
Try to, yeah. No, the best we can. I'm trying
Um,
to think. Minnesota was kind of
hotbed.
that was a hotbed for a lot of wrestlers that came out of, you had the Canadian guys. I think Canada had more, because they had so many.
Well, it's like when I think of like where most of the talent came from in the 80s or 90s, I immediately think the Dungeon in Minnesota and Tampa.
Yeah,
Those are like your
yeah,
three places. Um,
that's
I would
true.
s- I would say, well, not now in New Japan, but like not back in the day. Vince would sign contracts for like when I was a kid, when you were a kid, I remember like every once in a while it would be like, oh, the Orient Express, and it's like it was because Vince had a deal with New Japan or All Japan to feature some of the talent in America. But I never understood. It's like, why are the Rockers wrestling the Orient Express when
Yes.
I've never, you know what I mean? I never, or like you'd have a Royal Rumble and all of a sudden there'd be like 4 or 5 people from All Japan or New Japan, and I'd be like, who the hell, like, who the hell are these people? Like, no clue.
What's his name? Big strong chin from Japan. Uh,
Um, Tanaka.
Antonio Inoki.
Okay, he's the one who owned the company, right?
Right. So Antonio, I think he had a lot of business deals with events, because we have to remember, like, that's how the Muhammad Ali, thing
Antonio
happened.
Inoki match ended
Yeah.
up. Yep,
So there was a business deal that was always kind of going on between them with Japan because of Antonio Inoki. He was
absolutely.
always he did a lot, because I remember Ricky Steamboat was talking about when the deal was cut for Japan, and he went over there and they had him there for a while, and he was working, for WWF,
Okay. Oh,
and
he
he
was
was
still.
talking about, yeah. So there's some, that's where I'm going. Like, there's something going on with the deal there, because they had him for a while. That's when they cut a deal, and he asked if he could bring his mom, because his mom was Japanese, and she hadn't been home in a million years, He was trying to reunite the family because she kind of got chopped out of the family when she married his father, who was an American guy. And
Okay.
so they didn't talk to her anymore. So he was trying to rekindle that relationship if it was possible. And they did, but he said it was a fight, to kind of do it. But things ended up kind of working out there. But yeah, he was in Japan, you know.
When I was a kid, I didn't realize like regional territorial wrestling was like still kind of a thing. Like Portland wrestling in Portland, Oregon. Like Piper was there all the time, man. Piper lived in Portland, but
Yeah.
people would talk about Portland wrestling, and I basically only had access to WWF because I don't think we had the Superstation. So I never saw WCW ever until TNT, like way later.
Yeah, in
So
California, we had access to NWA, which became WCW, and then of course we had events. In California, we kind of had both of those. And we had Glow. We had
gorgeous ladies
Glow.
of wrestling.
That's right. We had Glow. Right in. I was still in the LA area, LA Long Beach area, so we had access to that. We could watch it. When I moved up to the high desert, we had it too. You could get to it. I remember when WCW did the first action figures. They were non-posable. They figures, but I remember when that hit and the commercials for that.
Wait, they
And
were they were the ones like where Scott Steiner's arm is like up like that. They were
Mhm.
like they almost looked like Hasbro's, but they couldn't move, right?
Yeah, those are the ones.
Okay.
And I remember my mom took me to Walmart and I wanted Sting and I wanted Scott Steiner. And my mom literally, I don't know, usually she wasn't cool like that, but she went out on a limb for me and she went through rows of figures. And the
Oh,
last row we found a Scott Steiner.
that was the only one that we had, and I was pulling the Frankensteiner on everybody. Everybody got the Frankenstein.
Oh, sweet, man.
So you're
WWE Elite did the classic version of the Steiners and then they did the more modern. They did both. I have the modern because you could get them in stores. The classic, you had to get online, um, and it was like I don't know, $100 or something like that to get both of them in the set. Which I haven't gotten to yet. But you could, when I was just kicking it at Target one day, I could get Scott and Rick in the early 2000s for like I don't know, probably less than $100. Get them both in elite form. So Rick comes with this jacket, the Beware the Dog jacket
oh
with
yeah,
the trophies on it, and you could take it off. He's all done out, sunglasses, bandana, everything. And then Scott, he's got the chainmail headdress, and he's all done out. So I was just excited to finally get the Steiner brothers after all this time because people have to realize they had not done Scott and Rick. The last Rick figure was in the Jack Pacific Legends, that the Superstar Legends line. They did
yeah.
him, but Scott was not releasing his likeness at the time after that whole stint with WWE when he went back and they did the whole arm wrestling thing and all that stuff. And Triple H embarrassed him because Scott was hurt. Remember, he had to have a couple surgeries,
He
so
had
he
a
wasn't up to level.
Scott had drop foot. Couldn't
Yeah,
even like couldn't even like walk really, let alone wrestle.
yeah. And people were like, I remember one from he sucks, blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, he had to have surgery. He couldn't move that great. He did all that
Hmm.
other stuff because they brought him in and contracted him and didn't wait for him to do the surgeries. So he did what he could when he was there. I was like,
Yeah.
no, man, Scott Steiner's a beast. I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, the fact that he could even wrestle a match and not be able to like be confident in his front forward step, because when you have drop foot, you just like you go forward. It's like you can't even like catch yourself. And he's doing running the ropes and executing
Yeah.
moves and stuff. And of course, Triple H had to go over Scott Steiner, and that wasn't even like the best version of Triple H. That wasn't even the game. That was like Evolution Triple H, wasn't
I
it?
believe so. Triple H, and that's my problem. That's why I'm not a Triple H fan because first of all, I was never impressed by Triple H. Secondly, I saw how he did people kind of dirty like that. Like,
Hmm.
he had people Sting, he did like that. Scott Steiner, he did like that. It was always, and then look at what he did to China, and then he ended up with, Stephanie. We
Hmm.
all know he was with China, right? And it was all good and things were great. And then, what was he doing? Oh, Stephanie, I want to be in the business. So if I get in with Vince, I marry the daughter, then, he was thinking like that.
Yeah. Like
And that's
I think
messed up.
he was cheating on China the whole time, man. Well, not the whole time. That's not true.
Right.
He was cheating on China like probably like almost the first year of his relationship with Stephanie though, because China found a bunch of notes, love notes in Triple H's gear bag from
Yeah.
Stephanie. And
Yeah.
that's like, that's back in the day when you actually had to handwrite love notes. There's no texting. I mean, I guess you could page somebody a love note. I don't even know. 411 911. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to ravage you tonight, Paul, or whatever. I always thought that was funny too, because Stephanie was definitely considered like attractive. I think a lot of people thought she was hot. And I always thought Triple H was kind of like not the most attractive guy face wise, I guess, probably because of his nose, but he is pretty smooth. He's like a pretty cool guy behind the scenes, I think. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
obviously has charisma. He's funny. That DX stuff they did was funny. But I always kind of thought I was like, man, like Test made more sense than Triple H did. At least to me. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That it did make more sense. Stephanie, and the thing about it too is how China was done, you know, on her way out. Now, some of that was her fault. I people have said that like they liked her and stuff like that, but the company tried to put her in a couple slots that she wasn't really good at,
Hmm.
or they tried to make her better than what she was, and they didn't really play to her skills. They tried to always up her. I forgot she picked up somebody. Oh, Perry Saturn. Perry Saturn had said, and he said this the other day. He was like, "Yeah, he's like, she's a nice girl and stuff, but the company was trying to push her. So they were trying to make her stronger or as strong as the guys. So she picked me up, and I was telling them like, she's not going to be able to pick me up, like not the right way, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
get hurt." And he's like, "Yeah," he said it freaking jacked up his neck and back real bad because she couldn't pick him up enough. But he said they tried to make her too strong, and she wasn't that strong, and they played on that like she could do it, and then she'd do this stuff, and it didn't turn out right. And he said the problem was then it started to get to her head that
Yeah.
she was the stuff because the company was trying to push her at the time, and he's like, so it unfortunately it kind of got to her, and I was like, well, you know some people can handle that, but when you have somebody like her who was not seen as being attractive when she was younger and self-esteem to be one of the popular kids,
Hmm.
some people can't handle that. You know what I mean? Like, some
Hmm.
people can do it, doesn't change them. Some people would be like Sting, doesn't change them. Humble do all the way down. Some people get in a power position, money, and it just goes right to their head. You know, like Lex Luger, and his height. He was kind of just too big on himself. And that was kind of the thing. So unfortunately, she fell into that, but you know, her career never survived outside of WWE. When she went to other promotions, like things didn't really kick off, and I think she ended up becoming an English teacher in Japan or something like that.
She
And
the thing that happened with her specifically was, and you're 100% on the money with how describing her career arc. She
yeah,
like she like viewed herself as big as Stone Cold. She like basically thought she was as big as Stone Cold. And when she was going in for her next like contract after the Stephanie and Triple H thing happened, she
yeah,
asked for like $1 million. She wanted what Stone Cold made, and
yes,
Jim Ross is like, how do you come up with that number? Like, where are you? How could you
Yeah.
possibly think that you're on the same level? So then when she did that, Vince, it was the front office's opportunity to like cut ties with her, but they did do her dirty because she was extremely popular. She was over. They never brought her back. They never
Yeah.
brought her back. Not even before she did the adult film stuff. They could have the death of her career was that adult film stuff, dude. And it may be the death of her in real life, man. I think that because she tried to do some action movies after WWE, they just action parts in movies, and then she was like on the Surreal Life, where she was like a
Oh, that was
complete
insane. I saw that.
yeah,
I was like, what
yeah.
the heck?
She's just drinking all night long, real manic, super weird. Um, and then she ended up like completely bottoming out career wise because I think she thought she was going to be the female Arnold. I think she thought she was going to be the next Terminator or something. Like,
Yeah, she had that problem. I think that exactly. You're right on that with that one. I think she thought, and there was some hype that let her believe that, and reality was, she's doing her thing, but you got to keep it kind of humble with what you're doing. I think she could have been much more if she was more in tune with her abilities and she was humble and how
mhm,
she did things. I think things would have turned out well for her. But because of the fact she decided to go off the deep end, I think that's what really, really, really sent things down for her, you know? And
yeah,
to the point where like people didn't really want to mess with her because she had kind of dipped down so far,
she
which,
she like they made this documentary about her life, like when she like towards the very end of her life, she like they whoever was working with her, or whoever was her agent, they're like, we're gonna show up to Titan Towers and we're gonna see if you can talk to Vince. And of course, that didn't happen. And they like, I don't think they threw her out, but I think they definitely she didn't get to Vince. But it was like a publicity stunt sort of deal. But
Mhm.
like that was right before she passed away, man. That for them to talk, I think when she lost Triple H, she lost her fiance, her house she was living in, her family, and then she lost her job and her career and her identity.
Yeah.
And for a person like that to be that fragile, mentally, um, yeah, that was a recipe for disaster, dude. It really
Oh, for
was.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. It's that's the thing about it. And that's why I tell people keep it humble with what you do. Keep Let your yeses be yes, let your no's be no's the best you can, and stay humble with that because if you have that, there's a lot that can happen for you.
Hmm.
If you let your arrogance overtake you, there's a lot that could happen to keep you buried. We're like people won't want to deal with you, and the blessings don't go the way they're supposed to. Because of how you're choosing to act and do things. You
Yeah.
know, that's the whole thing of it. So I'm like, yeah, that whole thing kind of just got sliced up on her, and her career went down a bad path. But it could have been much better had she, I think, been a team player about a lot of things. Like you said about the money,
Hmm.
I think if she had humbly come up with something respectfully, I think that would have worked out. Then later on, if she hit that point, they'd have
Yeah.
given that to her. See, that's what she didn't understand. It's
Yeah.
like
And
once you got there, you give it to you.
she also had problems with like she would never let other women beat her, like because
Yeah,
her character was too powerful. Um, she wanted to wrestle the men, and then Jeff Jarrett put her over. But like Jeff Jarrett negotiated behind the scenes for like $500,000 or like $750,000 or something like that. So he's like, "Hey Vince, I, I'm not putting her over unless I get whatever." And then that's basically why Jeff Jarrett was uh, GON gone. Do you remember that when
yeah,
Vince? Because he was like, "Okay, well, I paid you the money, but now I have you where I want you. Now WCW doesn't exist, and you're definitely not getting a job." that was
that
so
was
that was good shit.
I still think China's best moment was her and Mark Henry.
Oh, that was good when they were dating.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mark
that was
Henry
good.
was man when they put them together in the limo ride and they were all doing all the stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought that Mark Henry and China really played off well on each other, and I guess he swapped her out
May
for
Young.
Mae Young. Yeah, yeah, that was
um,
insane.
I like the Eddie Guerrero and China relationship too. Do you remember
That
that?
was funny. I do remember that.
That
Yeah,
was
Eddie
good.
Guerrero was he really kind of did a lot with her, you know. He was funny, you
That
know.
was
I
good.
I really enjoyed. Yeah, I did enjoy. Eddie Guerrero all together was always a class act, you know, with everything that he did. You know, he was always really well put together, funny. He had great gimmicks, charisma. He had the whole package. Eddie Guerrero was the stuff. That frog splash. I mean, he was it. Super talented, super cool guy. Yeah, that ending of him was real sad. The worst
Eddie.
part,
Oh,
yeah, the
go ahead,
worst
man. Go
part
ahead.
about that one was that he had a lot of issues and stuff. He made them right. He was divorced from his wife. He worked on that, started dating her again. They got remarried. He set everything right in his life with his kids. He had gotten right with God.
Yeah.
And one of his last things he said was, you know, this is what I've always wanted. And I now have this. I worked real hard and earned it. And I hope that I live long enough to see it. And next thing, boom, he was gone.
You know what
That's the
though?
sad part.
You know what's crazy about that is like I don't. I it is sad. I think it's sad, but I also kind of view it as beautiful because it's
Yeah.
like, you know, he went out on top and he's gonna be in heaven, dude. So he set himself up, bro.
Yeah.
It was almost like it was planned or something. Like it was perfect timing. Like it was
Yeah.
perfect. Um, the when Ultimate Warrior passed away, what do you think about that timing? That was some weird timing. He gives that speech like
Yeah.
about talking about when one every man's heart stops beating one day, and then like literally right after Raw, like the next day maybe he died in the airport or his hotel or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that was great. I remember watching that on Raw. I saw him live, and I was like, Nicole was like, we were watching him, and Nicole's like he looks tired, like he looks real, like something about him seems off. She said
Yeah.
that. I remember her saying that, and yeah, she was 100% on the nose with that one, huh?
That's crazy, man. I didn't tell you. I got to kind of meet the Warrior back in 13. What, let me see. Hold on. 12.
Okay,
2012. There was a show, there's a collector's place in California known as Frankenstein Collector Show in City of Industry. And they had a wrestling signing. And this is how you're gonna love this. Shawn Michaels was there.
okay,
Okay. Nash was there. Hall was there. Ultimate Warrior was there. IRS was there. Bob Backlund was there. I'm trying to think who else. There might have been a couple more. And I remember walking over to the area, and out comes Warrior. He's wearing like a suit. His hair's short, but he's got the face paint on with the
okay.
suit. And he's coming over. He's talking to people. He's shorter than what I thought.
He was
Yeah.
only like 6'3", 6'2", something like that.
He looked like 5'11", you
Really,
know?
Hogan made
Yeah.
him look short.
Yeah, Hogan was tall, so that was true.
Yeah.
Hogan's like 6'6", 6'7" at his height, and I remember I had $100. Okay, I could meet Shawn. There he is. I'm like, wow, my first wrestler I ever loved, Shawn Michaels on the Rockers.
Hmm.
There he is. I had just gotten married. I was maybe 7 months of being married, and Rebecca was into Lord of the Rings, and there was a Lord of the Rings collector guy there. He had like everything you could think of, and she wanted a Shadowfax. She loves Shadowfax, which is Gandalf's horse, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was $100, right? So, do I get the Shadowfax, or do I
Or do you need
jump
the
in
boy
front and get
toy?
Shawn Michaels? and I gave the $100 for the shadow fax. And
Damn.
I was standing like this, and Sean was like literally almost arm's length of me right there. Like
Okay.
I could, he's like from here. He was like from here to like, you see the shelf?
Yeah.
So where I'm sitting, he was from here to there. Yeah. And there he was. And I was just like, Sean. And he was like, oh, hey, And I was like, oh. He's like, well, come on over. I was like, I don't have the money. I
Yeah.
can't go over. They won't let me in.
Yeah.
And there she is with their shadow facts, like, oh, okay. And I'm just like,
Damn. In
and
the
look at
words,
the future that beholden to me,
yeah,
right?
Ron Simmons. Damn. Damn.
Should have gone back in time, cut that time machine, and said, "Hey, get that Shawn Michaels
Yeah, no
autograph and
doubt.
picture, and kick that to the side, man."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. So yeah,
Johnny Utah says, "Did you drive by the Wizard of Bras, world's biggest bra store? It's right next to the City of Industry."
I know of the place, but I've never seen it. I've heard about it, and there's that place, and in Hollywood area, a little bit towards Glendale. Jeanette Goldstein, Vasquez from Aliens.
Hmm.
She actually makes bras for women that have odd sized bra fittings. She makes
Okay.
custom bras, and she has a business doing that, and she does that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my story on that. In Monrovia. Oh yeah, it's somewhere down there. I know that. I've never been to the shop, but people always ask, like, "Hey, what's she up to?" I'm like, "Well, she's making custom bras for people. That's what she does." So, hey, you go down there, you could probably totally stop by her shop. I know she's there a lot, so you know,
Vasquez Vasquez is actually at the bra shop.
yeah, she's there a lot. Yeah.
Does she have a like one long stabbing weapon from her arm? Does she have a
Uh,
thing of milk in her husband's head through the bra strap?
uh, I don't know. She might have some. I'm sure she's got some Vasquez stuff up in there. I'm pretty sure if she had anything, it'd be something for Vasquez.
Your foster parents are dead, and your mom needs a new bra. She has irregular
Oh.
shaped cones.
Yeah, people ask me about being down in Hollywood and Burbank and all that. And I was like, yeah, gosh, the Starbucks over in Burbank, like on certain days, like what was it? Fridays, you would see Herb Jefferson, Boomer from Battlestar Galactica, and Walter Koenig that played Chekhov. They would meet a lot throughout the week, usually on Fridays at Starbucks. And you
Just to
would
have
see them.
coffee and BS.
Yeah, yeah, you would see that a lot. So yeah, you do see a lot of famous people just like floating around, and a lot of them would go to the shops and different things like that. So you would see a lot of different people.
Hmm.
That's how Gil Gerard, Buck Rogers himself, who's
Okay.
passed away, rest in peace. Kind of how I ran into him. So, he was really nice. I've met Aaron Gray.
Oh, have
She
you?
was cool. Yeah, she was cool.
Erin Gray was in Silver Spoons. She was in
Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers, and she was
She was
in
Colonel Wilma Deering.
Jason Goes to Hell. She was the mom of. She was Jason Voorhees' sister in that movie. Uh,
Yeah, you'd see a lot of people. I met a lot of people that have passed away. Like I got to meet Cindy Morgan.
who's Cindy Morgan?
Remember, she was Laura Baines in Tron, also Yuri in Tron, the original
Ye-
Tron.
I'm not. I'm gonna be fully transparent. I've never seen Tron.
Okay, have you seen Caddyshack?
Yeah,
The
she's a
blonde
blonde.
girl that was with Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so she
she's
was.
really pretty in that movie.
Yeah, she was really, really nice. Very, very pleasant person. The last interview she did, Disney World had brought her and Bruce Boxleitner out to the Tron ride when they released it, and you see her, and she is not looking good. Like she's breathing real hard.
Hmm.
Looks like she's got like a lot of fluid buildup. And I was
Oh
like, man,
no.
she doesn't look good. And then she died shortly after that. And it like that was part of it, was the fluid and she
What was the cause of death?
it was something to do with I think either her breathing or cardiac. So it makes sense the way she was looking. So
Okay.
that was tied into it. And that was really sad because she was really cool.
Yeah.
I worked on a movie that Bruce Boxleitner was in, and
Okay.
I missed him by like a day or two. Like when I got on set, they're like,
Yeah.
"You just missed him. He just finished taping." I was like,
Okay.
"Oh man, I
Yeah,
was
that
so
sucks.
close. I
That
was so
sucks.
close to meeting him. I wish I could have because I'm a huge Tron fan. So I that would have been crazy to meet him. You know,
Have any have any Tron movies been a financial success? Like at the box office, I feel like they've all bombed.
Legacy did pretty okay, but like no, not like knock the wall down, like huge success. Like no, they
Yeah.
haven't. Which is the first movie should be, and that was the best one. Is the first movie.
Hmm.
Second movie was okay. I had some issues. The next one they just did what was it? Not too long ago. Um, I saw it. I felt that it was not what it should have been. I felt it should have continued what the second movie was leading to. And they didn't do that. So I was like, what's the point of this? You could really do something cool with Tron nowadays, but the studios just won't do it right. And so it always sits in that place,
Hmm.
So it's like, because at the time, you had Tron, then a couple years down the road, you get Last Starfighter, and both of them were kind of the beginning of, early computer, animation,
Hmm.
and both did not do as well, um, but both are fantastic movies,
Hmm.
and were huge in my childhood. I love Last Starfighter. That movie. I'm sure it was huge for you too.
Yeah, I saw Starfighter many times. I when I was a kid in the '80s, like anything sci-fi, I remember War Games, um, and then Flight of the Navigator,
Oh yeah,
um, like all those films. There was another movie that was that. Do you remember the movie The Boy Who Could Fly? Do you remember that
yeah.
movie at all? Like that?
That was Jay Underwood, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
movie. He was the one who played like an android on the Disney Channel movies, right?
Almost Human.
Almost
Yeah.
Human. It's the same guy, right? He was Fred Savage is in that movie, and he had everything he has in that movie is a GI Joe product, a GI Joe action figure. That movie had to have been partially sponsored by Hasbro, and if not, somebody had something to do with it. If you go back and watch that movie, he's playing with every GI Joe product at the time. I was so jealous of that kid, dude.
Oh, well, let me read this. Johnny, a lot of actors from the era died from exposed to asbestos early. Yes. Yeah, a lot of, and even before then, like some of the building stuff that they were using, that's how Lon Chaney Sr. really got sick because something he was exposed to at a studio. Like it got in his lungs or something, it did something. So yes, you are
Mhm.
right, Johnny. Thank you for sharing that. That yes, a lot of people got sick from that stuff, unfortunately. But I do have a Savage Brother story.
Okay,
Um, I'm sure you guys know Fred and what's his brother's name? Ben
Ben, yeah.
are not loved. I knew people that were on the Wonder Years, okay? Like personally know. That were on the Wonder Years and worked around them and as well as other productions and they said it was the worst working with them. So not only do you guys hear that from the people that worked with them, the stars that did stuff with them, But this was like other actors, other production people. Nobody has said anything nice about either one of those guys. They said they were a nightmare to work
Okay.
with. Yeah, that's the truth. They said that they were awful to work with, and that's why you don't see them today, because like people don't want to deal with them. They have that bad of a reputation. I don't know what it is, boy, why they act that way, but yeah, they're not liked at all. You know, you have all these Boy Meets Worlds reunions, and you wonder why that's why they're not there. Nobody likes working with them because they were just really difficult and not liked.
Ben Savage, there's just something about Ben Savage that comes off as extremely unlikable. I didn't even like him. I didn't even like his character on Boy Meets World. That might be a hot take. I just felt like he was always like Mr. Know It All. His way was the right way. Nobody could possibly like. I'm supposed to be with Topanga. Sean, you're my best friend. Like, and it's just like no, no, no. It's supposed to be like this. His character was just like he was almost like manipulative, like
Mhm.
kind of like abusive, kind of. And then also Fred Savage's character in the Wonder Years, all he ever did was just yell at people. Paul Pfeiffer, whoever. Like, do you remember Fred Savage just screaming at people all the time on the Wonder Years? His character
Yeah.
Kevin.
Oh yeah.
That's probably how he was in real life.
I haven't confirmed he was very much like that.
I believe it.
Um,
I believe it. And
I know
also
someone that saw him like lose his stuff and be, you know, besides him being difficult, being extra difficult. They said that the girl that played Winnie Cooper,
yeah,
I can't say the person's name because I promise I'm like, I'm not gonna say her name, but um he told me, he's like, yeah, she would come over, talk to me, hang out. Just I'd be doing something completely different. And she would just come over and be like, oh, hey, what are you doing? You know, like, and he'd be like, oh, I'm doing this. Oh, okay, can I sit? Yeah, and talk to you? Sure.
yeah.
You know, and he said she was cool. The guy that played his dad was great. The guy that played Wayne, his older brother, he was really cool.
Jason
He said,
Hervey.
yeah, he said everybody was cool except for the Savage kids,
J-
and nobody
Jason
wanted to do scenes with them.
Jason Hervey was or is Eric Bischoff's business partner.
Really?
Yeah, yes, he is. And then also Danica McKellar, who played Winnie, is like a scientist or like a mathematician
That's
in
what
real
I
life now.
heard. Like
She's
she's
very
really, really pretty
sh-
well to do, you know, in life, is
she's
what
very
I
intelligent.
understand.
She's very intelligent. And then I did a story about her on the channel, like a short. She
Mhm.
like ate her placenta after she had her baby, and she claims it was the best steak she's ever had in her life. I'm not kidding. You know they
I
do that,
believe
right?
it. I believe I heard David Carradine did that. And
Ate the
served it to his
placenta.
guest. He served it to his guest. I don't know if he told him what it was. That is the nastiest crap. I don't care what it tastes like. The fact that it came from that is inhuman. You're eating human making material. That makes you a weird cannibal person.
Do you know why they do that? They do it because I guess it has a bunch of vitamins in it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So does bull's blood and all that stuff like that. Doesn't mean I'm drinking it.
So does bone, but like Bruce Lee was drinking cow blood, got really sick from drinking that. Unlike whatever, just raw cow's blood. That can't be good,
I
man.
Bruce Lee is one of my top heroes in life and of all time, but I am not drinking, you know, I'm not repeating some of the things that he did, you know, like no way.
Hmm.
You know, because that's why he had the short end that he did, you know, because like he didn't take care of the seizure problem. There were guys, you know, practitioners of you know, Wing Chun, Hungar, Tai Chi. A lot of the Tai Chi guys that were around Bruce and his father, they said he didn't understand that world enough, because they said if he really took it more seriously from a medical, like more spiritual based, like they felt that he should have,
Hmm.
they said he probably would have lived longer or been alive today, you know, but because he didn't really look into those internal things, you know, from internal side, you know, he just felt he could just like kind of just overcome that And I was like, no, dude, you got seizures. There's stuff going inside you, stuff you're doing that's jacking up your health. And you got to kind of do things differently. They couldn't tell Bruce, anything, about that. Even Chuck Norris kind of alluded to that, like Bruce, like he just really went at it hard. And, he had said, he had tried to say, other people try to say things, but, you couldn't get him to listen. So it cost him, his health, you
Yeah,
know?
he definitely worked out harder than anybody else. Put a lot of pressure on himself. A lot of professionally,
Hmm.
like financially, like family wise. Like he was doing a lot of drugs that
Yeah.
to stimulate creativity. His diet was. I don't know if he ate enough food. He was extremely skinny. He probably like was walking around with like 4% body fat, 3%.
He had a
I
very
mean,
low body fat rate. And then Johnny asked, do you think he died from being too healthy? Well, that's the thing. Workout
mhm.
wise, yes. Internal
Yeah.
organ diet eating, it wasn't good. He was not doing good. And he had a cocaine and a hash marijuana problem.
Mhm.
That and then he had the seizures on top of that, so he had internal problems, and then he added stuff to it, so it didn't work out well for him, unfortunately, and it cost him, because he never, the dude never stopped.
Mhm.
He was always trying to outdo and out film and out, train. And because Chuck would talk about, like, yeah, man, he trained, like, we trained 3 to 4 hours, just like before he even got to anything martial art wise, because he would do all this conditioning and running, like he would just do it out. Like Bruce was just a machine with that. And he's like, man, like, slow it down. Like we got to be able to do it. And then that's how he kind of came at things. He came at life just kind of hard. And
Mhm.
you can't be like that 24/7. You can't do that. It will end your life. Bruce died at 32. I mean, you think about that, how young that was and how early that was.
Mhm.
You know, you have to be very careful with what you do with stuff like that. Arnold Schwarzenegger always said that. You got to be, do your thing, make it happen, but you also have to, like, be careful, like, with what you're doing, your sleep, keep track of your medical, especially him with his heart conditions, right? So
Mhm.
you have to really be aware of that. That's a lot of people's problems, is just they just, and they're not looking after their health. They got this issue. They think they can push through it, and they die young.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want to do. And take it from me, who
Mhm.
knows all about this, who has done chemotherapy, who has done stem cell transplants, who's had numerous surgeries, who's done all this stuff and survived, including surviving sepsis. Um, yeah, like, really be careful with some of the things that people might be like energy drinks. If you do that out, I'm telling you right now, when I had my stroke episode, when I was in my early 20s, I was in ICU. I shared a next door room with a young guy they told me about. He was younger than me because I was 20, was I 25? I believe the guy was like 20 or 19, and he was going in to have some heart surgery done because he had drank so much energy drinks. His heart area looked like an 87-year-old man.
I believe it, dude. That stuff's so bad for you. It's just like you can only have
Yeah.
so much caffeine, man.
Yeah.
And it's like the triple, quadruple the amount. I remember when I used to drink alcohol, I went out to the nightclub and I used to drink vodka Red Bulls, and I had like probably four or five. My heart started beating out of my chest, dude. I couldn't control it. It was so bad, so bad. And I stopped doing it. In Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, they showed him wearing an electroshock vest while he was working at his desk. He wanted to keep his muscles stimulated at all times. Is that true?
With Dragon the Bruce Lee story, there were so many things that didn't happen in there. But that one right there would not surprise me.
Mm,
Um, because Bruce had all kinds of like workout equipment and ideas that he was always playing with, and he was constantly doing weird stuff to advance himself in that way. So that one would not surprise me. Him getting jump kicked in the back by some random guy, some triad guy that was supposed to be one Jock Mon, like, yeah, that was a lie. A lot of that stuff, Linda had written like her kind of love fantasy kind of idea on some things and kind of put it together with a little bit of things that happen in his story. So I tell people when it comes to that movie, on a scale of 1 to 10 about it being true, personally, knowing what I know about Bruce, I know quite a bit. Like I would say it's like a 4, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say it's like a 4 about how things happen, even the order of things. Like it wasn't exactly like that in so many ways, you know. So it and when you look into actual things about Bruce, like actual historical proven facts about him and how he lived and stuff like that movie is just so far away from like what happened. You know, that's the true thing about it. You know, yes, he moved to Kowloon, you know, and his house was there and his family did stay there. That's true. You know, he went there because Clint Eastwood had to do the same. He was not being well received in America, so he went back over to China, and that's where he did all the Golden Harvest films. And then he became huge because he already had a following because of the Green Hornet. They called it the Kato Show.
Yeah, I
And
did know
so,
that. I did know that.
yeah, Raymond Chow was like, hey, you know, we love it out here, the Kato Show. We love it. Like, we got to do some stuff. And so that's when Bruce did all that stuff. And then he became huge over in Asia. And then that got back to America. And that's what caused the deal between Warner Brothers and Golden Harvest, one of the first merging of international and American together to make Enter the Dragon. That's how that happened. And then Bruce
Okay.
died, and he never even got to see how big the movie was. He didn't even get to see it, you know, none of that. He didn't get to see that. He didn't get to see Way of the Dragon. He didn't get to see Game of Death. Well, Game of Death was kind of pieced out because it was sliced up because it wasn't completed because Bruce had died. They found a more complete version in the vaults of Golden Harvest. So there was more of the movie,
Hmm.
but there was a lot that there were still missing pieces. Could it be that it could have been finished and it got deteriorated, or it's in the vault somewhere for somebody to find it? Sure. But at the time in America, all they had was a part of the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fight. You know, that's what they had. So when you watch the American botch version of Game of Death, there's
Yeah.
another actor playing Bruce, you know, and then as kids, we used to fast forward it. And then when it got to Kareem, you see this head raise up and it's Bruce. And then you're like, oh, there he is. And then you'd watch that. And then when it goes back to the other actor, we would shut it off. That's how we watch Game of Death, you
You just
know?
yeah.
Yeah, and you have to think that movie did not hit DVD disc, the more complete version, until the early 2000s. So look at how many years that was. You
30,
know?
35,
Yeah, you
40.
go back to the 70s, yeah, and you're just
Yeah.
like, dude, like that's how long it took. So I always tell people like when it comes to Bruce, he didn't even get a chance to see all of what he would become. He had passed away before that. Brandon got to see it, you know. And then but
Yeah.
then Brandon never got to see how big he would have launched out to be because he was just ramping up at the time
The
when he
Crow
died.
was the Crow was definitely like that would have been the movie that like launched him into the stratosphere. And
Oh
then
yeah.
yeah, never got Rapid Fire 2. Um
He signed the contract for it though. So he signed for Rapid Fire 2 as well. I think his next 4 to 6 pictures he had already signed for.
I believe
And
it.
so he was getting married the next week. He had the contract deals to set up. He could now get Jeff Ilmata and all his friends from the Dan Inosanto Academy stunt team more involved. His sister's career started, Shannon Lee, get her going, as well as other friends that he had worked with bring him in. He is now getting to that point, and he died 28. That was it.
Yeah. Did
Yeah,
you hey, did you want to watch Wrestling with Shadows, or did you want to maybe watch something else?
we could do anything. We could do wrestling with shadows, or we could do whatever you
Um,
want to do.
well, no, I'm asking you because you're just as much a part of this as me.
Oh, I
Maybe
know.
bigger. Maybe bigger.
Oh
Um,
no, no,
maybe bigger.
no, no! You're the
Maybe more
big.
important. Oh,
No, you're
stop.
more important.
Oh, you, dude. Afraid of Felcher. Hey, Johnny, everybody in the chat. Drew and I, we think that we're gonna watch Wrestling with Shadows and just do a commentary right now. Would you guys be into that?
Yeah, let us know. You want us to stay like this? Wrestling with shadows. We got to have another option, right? Two things to
Yeah,
watch, right? We got to have.
wrestling.
Uh,
Okay,
okay,
go
wrestling
ahead.
with shadows. What do you guys think? And then Alex, what do you think? X Men animated '92, Night of Sentinels, Part One, Part Two.
That would be dope. But you know what else would be dope is if we
What's that?
watched Green with Evil.
Oh my gosh, I haven't watched that so long after Jason passed. I couldn't
Dude,
do it.
we could watch like Green with Evil Part 1 and 2.
Okay, all
I mean,
right.
I think that would be
Those are
fun as hell.
Yeah, those are the four. That's the even number. Those are the four options. So either we keep doing what we're doing, we watch Wrestling with Shadows, X Men Night of the Sinners Part One, Part Two, or Green with Evil Part One, Part Two.
Whatever's
There
free
you
on
go.
YouTube. I think Power Rangers is free.
Like we can definitely do that. So
Um, Tommy, when he showed up, I was like, he was like wearing a, yeah, there you go. Do, 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 do. Had you met him more than once? Was that the only time you met him?
no, I had met him two other times actually. So yeah.
Tell me about the other two times you met him.
The first time was kind of quick and brief. It was kind of fast. The second time I spent time with him, and oh man, it looked like he hadn't slept in a while. Like when I saw him, he was really tired. And so when I was at the convention center, he wasn't there. He had left, and I think he had left to get something to eat or something, or a nap or something like that. Because when you saw him, he was like really, 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 really tired. Like he was drinking, energy drinks to like kind of stay
Hmm.
up. And I mean, he did everything. He was as friendly and as approachable as he could be, but you could just see like, dude, you are so tired. Like
Hmm.
he looked so jet lagged, and I felt really bad for him. Every time I saw Jason, um, he just looked tired and jet lagged. He was just like, oh, he's barely kind of hanging in there because he really just burned the candle on both ends. And that's why I'm like, man, when people say things, because like it's like, guys, you don't understand. Like that dude bent over backwards to make it happen for people. He did things he didn't have to do, and he did them because he knew it was right. But I mean, it was a cost. The dude was tired. You have to think
Hmm.
running, rising sun karate, right? And then really keeping track of that stuff and going to these conventions and his family and everything else on top of it, because he was always doing a lot of stuff. I mean, it takes its toll on people because I mean, you just can't run like with no batteries.
Yeah,
That's what he was doing.
he was a major people pleaser, and he would go above and beyond. He would go above and beyond, which is like really admirable. But like sometimes he'd do those comic cons where he would like stay till every person in his line,
That was
got
the
a
standard.
really got an intimate moment with him. And some of those were just like crazy long, like way after hours, dude. Comic Con's
Yeah,
supposed to be over at like 10. He's still doing his thing at like 1 in the morning. Like
yeah.
that's crazy. One of the coolest things I ever saw on my Morphin life with JDF was like he was at a Comic Con, or maybe it was Power Morphicon. I don't remember which one it was, but they had the Angel Grove prom,
Hmm.
and he showed up to it.
Oh,
He
that's
was so
rad.
like yeah, no, it's super rad. So they had JDF show up as Tommy to the prom, and they were like dance club. It was a dance club vibe, dude. It was Angel Grove. It was really cool. So I mean, who else would do that, man? He didn't have to do that.
He's a rare guy. He's kind of like Mark Hamill would do, a lot of things for fans, and he'd show up. There's not many people that would do it. I remember the last ride of the original Star Tour setup, he had showed up,
Hmm.
and if you were there, riding the ride, you got to ride it with Mark. He was Mark was very similar, and Mark's very similar like that because he would show up and try to make everybody's day the best he could. Um,
Hmm.
and I know his price has gone up for meet and autograph, usually for autograph stuff, because from what I understand, he knows like a lot of people are trying to make money off his autographs, so that's why
Yeah.
he kicked up the price. Because he just saw people just like Mark. Oh,
Yeah.
Mark, what's up? And I don't have anything signed by Mark, but I've met him. Briefly. He did a panel, and he was trying to get. He had like so much time before he had to leave, get on a plane, fly out somewhere to tape.
Hmm.
And but he kept his commitment and he came. And the thing he asked us, I can't sign anything. I can't get into a whole lot of things, but for the time I'm here, I'll do everything else. I'll answer as many questions. I'll do some Joker impersonations. I'll make it as fun as I can. He's like, I wish I could stay and sign, for all you guys. And somebody threw their 5-year-old daughter on the stage as he was leaving with a Star Wars script, a copy of Star Wars script,
Oh
and a
yeah.
pen in her hand. And of course, Mark's not going to turn down a little kid. So he
Yeah.
signs it and he tells her, "May the force be with you." And he's looking at the parents like, "Come on, guys,
Like you
I
screwed. Yeah. You screwed
yeah,
me. Like you did that on purpose. Yeah, Mark
yeah,
Hamill's Mark Hamill's like we've talked about him before. Like he's like super talented voice actor,
oh yeah,
actual actor, writer, comedian. He's funny as hell. He does voice impressions. His Harrison Ford is very good. Johnny Utah says, "I vote Wrestling with Shadows. I'm watching it now." Johnny, you got to rewind it to when we started, bud. You're gonna lose the best friend on a forklift match if you keep acting like that. Aaron Vanover, my brother, the spoiler. I turn on YouTube, and who do I see immediately? My little brother's face. Oh, that's good, man. Keep a nice distance from me so you can't pour any cold water on my head in tonight's stream.
that
Hey,
story was crazy.
do you know why my brother is called the spoiler, Drew?
Why
Have
do
you
they
heard me
call him the
call
spoiler?
Aaron is called the spoiler because Aaron, if you're watching a movie with Aaron and he's already seen it, or if you're reading a book and he's already read it, don't tell
Mm-hmm.
him you're reading it because he'll spoil it for you. He'll tell you how it ends or who dies or what happens. So if Aaron was an evil villain in a movie, his secret power is to ruin movies and books and video games. He is
Oh
the
wow.
spoiler. Yeah. He got a car with a big S on it. It's like dark purple. Big old spoiler. Spoiler S on the car. Here's to you and all those Arkansas sweat hogs. Lay back and watch me take my robe off. Rick Rude.
Oh man. Did you ever see Rick Rude when he was on Regis and Kathy Lee?
Yeah, I did. I think the
Oh
Kathy Lee
man.
kind of liked him.
Oh man. When he chased her around?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
And he
did
had
you ever
the
see
pants.
with her airbrushed on it?
She was on the front near his stuff, and then Regis was on the back.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Dude, he was like such good heel work with when he was wrestling Jake the Snake and he put Jake's wife on his crotch
Yes.
area. What a dick. Oh, Johnny just ruined the movie for us. Spoiler, beat my brother to it. Brett gets screwed at the end of Wrestling with Shadows. He does? What happens?
uh,
Um, no, dude, let's get Wrestling with Shadows going. Aaron,
okay.
Aaron, pull up Wrestling with Shadows. We're gonna do a little bit of a watch along here. All right, Drew.
Okay.
Real stories Hitman Heart documentary.
Okay. Real
One- It has
story.
it has 1.1 million views. Pull that son of a bitch up. It might even be on Tubi. Is it on Tubi? Let me look real quick. Let me see if I can find.
Okay. Let me get
Let me
over
see
to
if I
the
can
TV
find this
because
on
I'm in a
Tubi.
whole different room.
That's okay. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to make you get up.
No, dude, I don't care about that. I'm just telling you as I'm moving. So that way you're like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm
Okay.
moving. Yeah, you're fine. Let's
All right.
see.
Pulling up the Tubi app right now. Tuesday Night Titans. I love the feud on TNT with Piper and Rude. So fun. I don't know that I remember them having a feud. Do you remember that?
I do. I just don't remember a lot about it because I haven't seen it in a long time because they didn't do the Rick Rude box set. And I don't even think like his matches, from what I remember, I don't know if they're on anybody else's box sets.
Yeah, Rick Rude doesn't have a lot of coverage. When he
And
did
that's
that
kind of the
thing,
downside is because him and Henning, they usually work together as a team, like a heel team.
yeah,
And I wish I could see uh more of that stuff, with them. All right, let me see. I think
right?
I put you next to my favorite picture. Is that right?
Yeah, there's Aaron, there's Drew, 1987 Masters of the Universe. Drew's looking like just an absolute, just a stud. 4-year-old Drew, Masters of the Universe. Aaron, Tubi, pull. It's on Tubi, Drew.
It's on Tubi. Are you
Uh,
going to Tubi?
I'm on Tubi. That's where I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
So we'll just watch
All
it
right. I'm
together.
going to YouTube now. I'll.
Nah, screw YouTube. Go to Tubi, and then we'll. When you get to the screen, just tell me when to press play because it's in yellow. Just tell me when to hit it.
Okay.
Aaron, Drew, do you guys remember when Jake and Ricky Steamboat had their feud and Jake DDT'd Steamboat onto the freaking cement?
Oh man, I do remember that.
Yeah, almost killed him.
Yeah, he said that. He said, if I do this, it's gonna. I mean, I'm probably gonna end up killing him.
That was such a
Do it anyway.
stupid, stupid move. And then when Honky Tonk Man smashed that guitar over Jake's head, and it was like not a gimmick guitar. Do you
That's
remember?
insane.
Do you remember that?
I do. I do remember that too. Like it was not. I don't know what they were thinking with some of these decisions. What about when the most famous one when Macho Man got the snake?
Oh yeah, when he got bit for
Yeah,
real in the ring by a fucking cobra. um,
I was like, that's insane.
yeah, you ever hear the story about that with them discussing it backstage before
Oh
they do that?
yeah, he's like, you got to get bit first.
Yeah, he's all, I don't want to see no potions, no pills, no powders, no elixirs, nothing. I want to see that snake bite you, Jake.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's insane.
Aaron says he remembers Macho with the bell to Steamboat's throat. Yeah, but was that actually like, did he hit him with that or was that pulled? And then Aaron also says the sound was authentic. Yeah, even as a kid, you could recognize it with real guitar. I don't know, dude. Much Honky Tonk Man was at Eugene Comic Con like in 2000, God, 2014, 2015, and he was sitting at a table with no line, eating Dinty Moore stew.
Oh wow.
No line, nobody. They talk about Virgil back in the day when he had no fans at his tables and he just set up in a, wherever he wanted to set up, not even at a Comic Con. Honky Tonk Man had nobody there for him. Hopefully, he got a guarantee. No, no baby oil. No baby oil.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody that was a honky tonk fan. Like, I
Nobody
didn't know
was
anybody that liked him.
nobody was wearing honky tonk man shirts to school, dude. And when they put him with Greg Valentine in Rhythm and Blues, I was like, this is going nowhere. This is like the worst tag team ever. They made Greg Hammer dye his hair black and like pretend like he could play guitar.
It
And
was
he's
so weird seeing, just Honky Tonk Man. Like, 'cause he had a lot to say about Brett. You know, like he had a lot to say about a lot of wrestlers. Like he was like some like trend center or something like that. And I was like, dude, you're freaking Honky Tonk Man.
mhm.
You're not. You can't speak on people. It's like Jake the Snake. We all know him, but honestly, Jake the Snake compared to Brett or Sean, something like that, like he doesn't fit in that category. It's kind of like that because he
No,
had a lot to say about. Uh, Jake had a lot of stuff to say about Brett and Sean about how they like weren't that great or that good, and I was like, "What the heck are you talking about? You're Jake the Snake, man. Like you're definitely not. You're not Kurt Hennig. You're not Rick Rude. Okay,
Jake was popular. Okay, he was
he
good.
was.
He was good, but he wasn't. He Brett was Brett was clearly better than Jake. Sean was clearly better than
God.
Jake. Um, Jake Jake had a few things that nobody else had. When he cut a promo, he didn't yell. He like whispered almost. He talked like softly and like very like a matter of fact. Like it was very precise. He did not yell. He was
Yeah,
intelligent.
that's true.
He was intelligent. He was a good like technician in the ring for the most part. He invented the DDT. He never needed a belt because he was already over, but I guess he had a prop anyway because he had the snake. So that was his gimmick. But no, come on, man. And then Jake couldn't make good life decisions, man.
Oh heck no.
Are you on the screen where it says play? It's like yellow.
Yeah, but I got commercials with Tubi. Let
Oh,
me
so I mean,
log. Let me get out and come back in because the volume's weird.
okay.
It's low. Hold on.
All right, we're about ready to watch Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows on a Friday night live with Alex and Drew. You there, Drew?
Yep, I'm right. I got it paused. I got everything in place.
All right, and then after this, we might even pull my brother up from a bubble bath and have a little freeway action.
Okay, it'd be cool to meet your brother.
um, no, I'm teasing. He's not gonna he's not gonna come up. All right, on the count of three, Drew, you tell me when. We'll hit play, okay?
Okay.
One,
1, 2, 3.
got
Play.
it, got it. Now it's opening the Tubi. It's at a commercial. Do you got a commercial?
No,
You don't?
no.
Son of a
My
bitch.
commercials already came out.
I got four of them. I got four commercials, dude.
Okay.
Let me tell you when it gets to zero. Two more commercials. Aaron says if Jake wasn't an addict, he could have been top tier. Yeah, I think so. And I also think that after the WrestleMania 7 thing where he wrestled, or it might have been WrestleMania 8, he wrestled The Undertaker. Do you guys remember that match?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was his last match in WWF before he came back years later. He kind of burned his bridge with WWF, and then he went to WCW and then signed a big contract or something, and then they like removed the contract from him. Do you know anything about that? Something
I
happened.
remember he was there and he was working against Sting as a heel,
Okay.
and they were hyping up that thing. and I don't know what the heck happened to him after that. My guess is the drugs might have probably taken over at that point, maybe
You're probably right.
because he had that serious drug problem, you know.
Okay. Are you at 0?
Yes.
All right. 1 on 3. 1, 2,
Ooh,
3.
ooh. Okay, got it.
Now he's walking into the arena with his gear bag.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. There's Triple H on the right. He's a dick. Brett's got that big ass knee brace. Look at him wet his hair down, Drew. Drew, you there, buddy?
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Jake was going to make a run with Ultimate Warrior, and then Warrior put the gun to Vince's head, and that was the end of that. Bad luck with Jake. Yeah, that was bad. And then plus he was going to have a feud with Hogan, and then Jake started getting cheered during the live matches, the house shows, and then they'd stop that too. This is when wrestling was awesome.
That's right.
Look how fit Brett is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's pretty much he's jacked. Do you think he's on the gas?
No.
You think that's natural right there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he's working out later in this movie and he's doing those dumbbells, he's doing like heavy ass dumbbells. He's pretty strong.
Brett was very strong.
You think that Brett? I mean, I think I know the answer, but like if Shamrock and Brett like for real shot like on each other, who do you think would come out on top?
Just wrestling?
I mean, well, wrestling to be Brett, but like they like got into an altercation.
It's a tough one to say because you know Shamrock can grapple and he can brawl. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it would be hard to say, but wrestling wise, Brett would definitely get him if he could dodge those hits and those kicks. Yeah, then I would say Brett could do it. And I say that because remember that dungeon match they did with Owen, and I think it was Owen and Shamrock. Remember that
I don't
they
remember
did it in
that.
the dungeon.
They actually had
They
a
were
match in the dungeon.
yeah, and how Owen did in there, and I was like, okay, I could kind of tell. I was like, how that would actually go if they actually went in and did a shoot. I was like, okay,
Brett? Okay, so Brett's in his hotel room here talking about what they're trying to do. This must be right before the screw job, right? This scene.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
He looks so stressed out here. Look at how stressed out he is.
yeah,
Look at Vince's nice makeup job on that black eye.
yeah. You can see a little bit of other.
Yeah, they tried to cover that up as best as possible. He allegedly like he like uppercutted him. Like I guess Brett broke his hand on that.
Yeah, he popped him hard. I know
He
that.
said he hit him uppercut style, broke his hand, and Vince was completely like absolutely out, like went to sleep. Doc Hendricks.
Oh my gosh.
I
P.S. Hayes, Michael
he,
P.S. Hayes.
he's still in the WWE. I don't like him, man. He seems like a sleaze bag.
Yeah, I heard mixed things about him. Some people said he was all right. Some people said he wasn't.
Hey, everybody that just joined, thanks for joining the live stream tonight. Drew and I are hanging out watching Wrestling with Shadows, the Bret Hart movie basically leading up to the screw job. So we just started it. It's free on Tubi, and we're at like 439, 440 of the movie. So if you want to get caught up with us, it's like around 5 minutes. Look at Brett, looking kind of handsome right there. Look at him. It's the hair on the side right there. His hair's not wet back yet. Meanwhile, he's on the road just cheating on his wife in every city he's in, Drew.
I don't know if he did every city. I know it did happen, but I don't know how frequent it was, you know?
Dude, how could you do that? And like, I mean, I don't know. I've never, I feel like that would be a lot to carry. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it would be.
it's a lot of stuff to be carrying around, dude. A lot of secrets. Screw
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if you get married to somebody, that commitment comes. If you have a serious relationship, where you guys have been dating a while and you guys are serious, you don't want to break that. I mean, if you don't want to do that, then don't get involved with people at that level. You
Hmm.
know, that's what it gets down to, you know, especially as you get older, like you gotta kind of mature eventually in there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And it like, especially if like they had like 5 to 6 kids, and like Brett was like not only, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but at one point Brett wasn't just like the world champion. He like in Canada, in Europe, he was like
Yeah.
probably the number one like celebrity. Like he
Yeah.
was huge. People overseas, where he was from in Canada, even I mean, United States, he was popular as hell, bro.
Yeah. I remember.
There's Davy Boy. There's Owen. Owen was just everything I've ever read about him. He was just a great, great guy.
It's true. There's Anvil.
You can tell Anvil, well, you can tell he lifts and eats at the same time.
Yeah, and there's Pillman. You see Brian in the back.
Yep. And there's
There's Vince
freaking
Russo.
Vince
See Vince
Russo.
Russo?
Can't stand him, bro. I don't like him, bro. Yeah, Vince Russo is. Do you like? Are you a Russo guy?
He's okay, because the thing about him is what I liked about him was the wrestlers that he did help, how far he bent over backwards to make it happen. Like because of him, that's how Booker T became heavy. He played a
Yeah,
part in Booker T become a heavyweight champion
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
Back at the Beach. Had he not been there, it wouldn't have happened that way.
Yeah, he was a really big. I mean, not that it matters to either one of us, but he was like a big Jeff Jarrett fan too. He was always trying to put those guys over.
Yeah. And I know he did some stuff for Brett too. I know he tried to, get Brett going to WCW, try to get him what he could, and I believe it to be true, seeing what he's done for people. Ooh, what a rush.
That Legion of Doom. I'm gonna be real with you, man. They like probably the greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah, I would say there are four elite. You've got them, you've got the Rockers, you got the Hart Foundation, and you got Harlem Heat.
Well, Harlem Heat was great, and then British Bulldogs,
Yes,
and
I want to put
then
them in there. Yes, I don't want to forget them. Yeah.
probably shit.
They gave Demolition a lot of push, you know.
Yeah,
And I had
Demolition.
nothing against the guys. They seem really cool, but like I didn't think Demolition was super special. They had a crazy look, but
They
I don't
were
think they were as good as the Legion of Doom.
they were Road Warriors ripoffs, dude.
True, pretty much.
Yeah, dude, are you kidding me? They look identical
Yeah, they did. I said, yeah, that's what I said. Pretty much, they
to
they they are.
Lord Humongous,
Yeah, they got the Lord Humongous outfit on.
Vader. Man, what a when he attacked Gorilla Monsoon. You remember that? And they
They
like,
said they said Vader smelled like old cheese and ham.
because he just never washed his gear.
How's he gonna have a gold? Look at that gold watch. How are you gonna have a gold watch and not wash your gear?
I
You
have
know what I
no
mean?
idea. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, there goes your buddy. There
Here's your
goes your
girl.
buddy.
Here's your girl.
Man, now she looks like she looks awful last time I
Y-
saw
Oh, she hasn't aged well at all, dude. When I was in
her. Isn't
junior
that a
high,
trip?
dude, when I was in junior high, I probably had 200 pictures of her in my bedroom.
I never liked her.
I
I thought there was something about her I just didn't like.
I thought she was like the sexiest woman ever.
There's something about her I didn't like.
Oh, here comes the boy toy.
Sean looks nothing like that these days. He aged hard too.
Yeah, his he's bald, he's beaten up, and he that eye thing he's got going on is he's got that lazy eye
He looks
still.
like he looks like he has cancer. I'm sorry, he does. He looks like he's really thinned out, you know, but he doesn't look healthy when you see him. He looks really really malnourished. His head like looks really big, and he just doesn't look healthy. You know what I mean? Like you could look at somebody and just be like they don't look healthy. Like there's
Yeah.
something.
When when he came back for like they went to like the Middle East. Do you remember that when DX came out and they
Yeah,
wrestled Kane and Undertaker? And that was like basically his last match, but he came out of retirement for that thing. He got a huge payday, but a bald Shawn Michaels. That was just that was
yeah.
just
All his hair was gone, and I was
that
like,
was
whoa.
yeah, that was just crazy. And then Triple H got hurt in that match too.
Yeah, there's the Stampede match.
Yeah, there's Stu, there's freaking Diana, there's all the brothers, there's freaking the grandkid. I think that was yeah, this is David Hart Smith right there.
Hmm.
Natty's probably in that ring too, I bet.
He is, and so is Tyson. Tyson Kidd's there.
And Oj, Owen's son and daughter were in there too.
They are. There's my guy.
Stu?
Yeah, when I get old, I want to talk like Stu Hart. That's like
Uh,
my dream.
yeah, my name's Drew here.
Yeah, that'd be the happening thing.
I think I can take you down to the dungeon there and show you a
I
couple
love
moves, eh?
Diana Hart. Diana Hart was the girl I had on my wall.
You thought Diana Hart was hot?
I thought Diana was the most beautiful thing, you know.
Not Helen?
I was old enough to be. She's the same age as my grandmother. No, she grew up before World War II. My grandmother was around during the Great Depression. So my grandmother died. She was a hundred. Was she 103 at the time?
What?
So yeah.
How long is your dad still around?
No, he died in 2006.
I'm sorry for your loss, man. How old was your dad?
70.
Okay. So if he was
He
alive
was
now,
70 in 2006.
oh shit, he'd be 90.
Yeah.
How did he pass away?
My dad got on dialysis. His diabetes wasn't doing so great, and then they were going to give him a triple bypass surgery to take some of the pressure off of the problems he was having with dialysis. He did the surgery. He had a stroke in recovery. He had that stroke waking up out of anesthesia people talk about, or that, you know, sometimes people said they get Alzheimer's over time because they're older after surgery. He
Yeah.
had that happen. And like he was just like seizured out. I mean, like I would look at him and he would be like looking all over the place like Stevie Wonder. Like he'd
Oh
just be
no.
like, and I said, what the heck happened? There's, well, he's still recuperating. I said, it's been a week. That looks like he had a stroke. I was like,
Hmm.
this is not good. And I remember I stopped by one night and my dad was like, he was trying to talk, but he couldn't talk. It sounded like garble, 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 when he talked. But he
Yeah.
was really trying to talk to me about something. I was like, huh? And they asked me to leave the hospital because he needed rest or something. And I was like, fine, whatever. So I left. I left the hospital. And then my mom asked me to come back. And I was like, what the heck? Did she leave something? Like I got to go do something for her at the hospital. And I was just kind of like, ugh. And I got back. But the people that left when I was leaving were all back at the hospital. And then I went upstairs and they were like, yeah, he just died. And I was like, oh, shoot.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's what
man.
happened. It's okay. So we didn't have the greatest relationship. Um, as you can see, this is the original of the He-Man picture. You know, this is the original one. I had to have it fixed. A buddy of mine is a professional fixer for photos, so he fixed it. He blew it up. Um, but this is the original one. It's the same picture, but
Yeah.
it's just fixed. But I got into it with my dad in junior high, and that's how that picture got broken.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we've had our spats, for sure.
Is your mom still around?
Yeah, she'll be 76 in September.
So your mom was way younger than your dad.
Yes, she was.
Okay. Aaron, the spoiler, and I, we lost our mom when she was 51.
Gotcha. I'm sorry about your
Um,
mom.
yeah, well, I appreciate that. She made her own decisions, man. She pulled a Tammy Sitch a lot of times.
Oh, that's not good. Huh?
No, it's not good. No, it's not good.
I'm
Her
sorry
her
about that.
her secret move was ruining holidays. that was her. That
Oh
was
my
her.
God.
That was her secret power. She would just, if you wanted like Christmas to go normal, nah, not on her watch. Not gonna happen. It's been at least 3 Christmases I remember where she just absolutely just outdid herself.
Wow, man.
She got it was like Christmas Eve, like I think I was like 6 or 7. We were out visiting our relatives and she like decided she was gonna go out and drink or something, but I didn't know because I was a little kid. So I beat her to the car. So I get in the car with her and she's like, "Hey, don't you have to go to the bathroom? You should go to the bathroom before we leave." I said, "No, I don't have to go to the bathroom." She's like, "Well, you should go to the bathroom and I'll wait for you." And as soon as I got out of the car, she peeled rocks into my body and took off to the bar. This is Christmas Eve. And then later that night, she had a DUI hit and run
Oh
on
man.
Christmas Eve, Drew.
Oh my gosh.
But that's just one of the three, the big
I'm
three.
so sorry for you and your brother, man.
That's
Just
all right. Okay, so they're telling the story about Brett taking on the bully.
Oh, really? Yours doesn't have commercials?
I don't have any commercials right now. Where are you at?
I'm on commercials.
Okay, let me pause mine real quick because I'll pause it at 18. So I'm at 18,
Okay.
and then you get caught up.
Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. I'm in.
Are you in?
Let me see. Yep, he's driving in the car.
Okay, what number are you like in the film?
Uh, Let me see. I'm at 16 and 48.
Okay, just get to 18, then I'll press play,
All
and then
right.
hopefully they don't put me into a commercial.
You're right where he talks about the bully fight, right?
Yeah, talking about the bully. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for them to make a Stu Hart figure.
That is surprising. That I probably because he didn't have any gear. Like, what do you make him in? Just his like t-shirt and pants?
Well, they could do a young version of him. They could do a young version of him with the trunks back in the day when he was grappling people.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. You could. He wrestled in Stampede.
He was the man.
Are you at 18 yet?
Yeah, I'm right there.
Okay, turned it on. Now it's Brett in a red
Ellie
shirt.
Hart talking.
Okay. I'm at 1805.
Okay, it's getting ready to come.
So there's a
All
young Brett.
right, 18. Got it.
Okay. All right. So we're both at 1802.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
He talked to the teacher. Teacher said, "Good luck." Yeah, they're getting ready.
Nice little haircut by Brett there.
Oh, there's Rhonda Shear. Did you see Rhonda Shear?
On the left, right
USA
there,
up all night.
WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, Rhonda Shear, USA up all night. You watched USA up all night, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Rhonda Shear was cool. I told you
Uh,
about she does bras too.
oh, I'm sure she does.
And my mom was watching QVC and she was on the channel. And I asked my mom, oh, there's my lady. I asked my mom, could you call them and ask them if that's Rhonda Shear, mom, that from USA Up All Night? And she did. And they said, yeah, it's her. I was like, I knew it.
Oh, that's funny.
My mom's like, what the
USA,
heck is USA Up All Night?
USA up all night.
All night. My mom's like, that sounds like something else. And I was like, no, no. And she's like, yeah, right. Show more Diana Hart. Show.
No, show more Keith Hart.
Keith is
Keith
cool though.
Keith is like a fire department chief.
Yeah.
I'm sure all those brothers were probably tough.
Oh yeah, he trained all of them. They are tough. That was
I
their
think,
reputation.
yeah, I think they had to be tough.
Keep up with Stu and be Stu, son. Yeah, you had to be.
Look at that. Look at
Ah,
that freaking chandelier.
I see it. Ah, Diana's back. She was Miss Calgary many times.
Look at that old TV in the living room. They turned this house like the Hart House now. I think is like a museum.
Yeah, it's a museum now.
It's like a national monument.
I hope to go there. I was talking to Shannon about it. I said I would love to go there for us to go there to see it. And she was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, let's go there.
That'd be awesome. Do they have it set up the same way?
I guess so.
Oh man, I got an ad break. Damn it.
All right, I'll pause it for you.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm at 20, 2107, I think it
All
is.
right. Got 6 ads. Son of a bitch.
We should have put in the disc.
I
That's
know, dude. I know, dude. I screwed up. Hey,
okay. I was thinking they might hit us with some commercials, but they really hit it up this time. It's okay.
to all the Alex and Drew maniacs out there, maniacs. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Let me tell you something, dude. When Alex and Drew get together and watch Wrestling with Shadows, the only way to do it is with commercials, brother.
Uh,
What idiot? I'm
oh, I
such an
meant to ask
idiot.
you, what did you think about all my Bret Hart figures? I got a lot, don't I?
I was like, I was like, I can't believe he keeps pulling these out. How the
Yeah,
hell does he have this many versions?
yeah. I hunted all those down, man. Every time I was like, oh, got every one, and then pulled out, Anvil, Davey, Owen, and Brian. Yeah, and then Dynamite Kid. Yeah, I had to get Dynamite from England.
Really?
Yep. He
Damn.
was a special figure made in England. Just like Carrie's figure, that was a small wrestling company in the States that did it, that has the license. So that's how I got Carrie. And then, but Mattel did do one. They did one years ago, like long, like when the line first started. They did him and Kevin, and I had that one. I sold it for special reasons, and and then I came back and was like, "Wait a minute! Since I sold that Carrie, can I get that new one?"
Yeah.
And so I was like, "I'm getting that back." And it's the Carrie, his belt, and he comes with the jacket too, the Von Erich purple jacket. So that's the one where he wrestles Flair in place of David for the heavyweight title,
Yeah. And he
where
wins.
David died. Yeah, that's the exact Carrie I have when he does that. Yeah, so that was a cool one to get. So I don't know if that line, that company, if they're gonna. I know they did a couple more carries in, I think in white and maybe another color, red or something. I don't know if they're gonna do Kevin, if they're gonna do David. I'm unsure, but if they did, I would get them for sure. I'd get the whole group. How did you feel about the Iron Claw?
It was pretty good. I didn't like that they didn't address all the brothers in the movie.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was super
I,
weird.
I felt it should have been like a mini series.
Yeah, it was hard to fit all that into one movie.
And then MJF was in it. He played Lance Von Erich, but they cut the scene. Like you have to see the deleted scene, but it's not very long. That was it. I was like, okay.
Now, Stu's down here just stretching people. For what reason is he training these guys?
Yeah. Is it, are you back on?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm at
Yeah.
21:38. Where you at?
21, 10, 11,
Okay.
12, 13.
Okay. I'm at 13. There you go. So they're going into the dungeon right now. I've never seen this guy ever after this movie either. Like Stu must have just
That's Dave Hart Jr. right there.
guy's getting his ass kicked by Stu.
Oh, look at his face. He's like, uh, yeah.
Guys, that guy's beat red. Yeah, look at his. Okay, now it's time to do the next guy. Get over here, you Mr. USA.
I don't think he's moving.
He's like, screw that. I'm not going to let him stretch me. And Stu is just like loving every second of it. Are you? Look at his face. He's touching his lips.
Huh.
Did we watch the Tulsa King series with Stallone? I haven't
I
seen
did.
Tulsa.
I did. I've seen all of it.
I haven't seen it. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. It's really well done.
It's crazy
I
when
really
guys who
enjoy
are
it.
that big of movie stars start doing TV shows. Like their mortality starts showing a little bit.
I watched the first episode when the sepsis came in. I just got home from the hospital and I was getting sick from the sepsis. I was so messed up, and I started the first two episodes, and I was like, I don't care. I gotta watch this show finally. I've been waiting all this time to
Yeah,
get back home to watch it, and I was
watch
watching.
Stallone.
Yeah. Then the ambulance came to get me.
Shit, man. How long were you sick with sepsis, dude?
Um, I was there 3, almost 4 weeks.
That's crazy. Did you get to watch it in the hospital at least?
They had no streaming, not like that. That was Paramount. You had to pay for. So, no, I did the first two episodes, I think, and then I was at the hospital until they released me, and that was crazy. That was an insane adventure, buddy. Insane.
He's got that in his basement. Freaking dude in an electric chair in his basement. So Hitman Hart must be a horror movie guy then, huh?
Maybe.
I mean, you don't have a dude in an electric chair being electrocuted if that's not your thing. That is
You got a point
bizarre.
there. That is kind of weird.
That's super weird, dude. There you go, Stampede. There's Stu in the ring in his t-shirt and pants. Is that the Crusher?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at Vince with his beautiful little red bow tie there. Hey, Drew.
Yo.
You see that? So they're at the Hart House right here, and you can see that ring in the backyard.
Uh huh.
That might be the ring that uh, one of his sister's kids died in. Do you know
The
what I'm
one that
talking?
got the staph infection.
He got the
Yeah.
infection from the ring in the backyard.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, it's probably not a good idea, honestly, to have a mat in the actual weather. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's gonna have moisture and shit.
Yeah, that was a crazy story.
Yeah, I think the kid's name was Matthew.
I'm guessing they didn't get him to the hospital in time.
I have no idea. I think it just kept getting worse and worse.
That was awful.
Brett's in his Olympic-sized swimming pool here. Oh, hey, Drew, say hi to Nicole. She finally got back from Swiftyville.
Oh, cool. Hey, Nicole. How's it
Hi.
going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Did you enjoy your concert?
Yeah, it was fun.
All right.
Taylor Swift
Wait,
tribute band.
you're not wearing the blonde wig and you're not dressed up as Taylor Swift.
I have her cardigan on.
Oh, okay. I'll give it to that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Did she sound like her?
No.
Okay. Was there a lot of people there?
There's like 7,000 people there.
7,000.
Yeah.
What
Did you
the
buy some
heck?
merch?
No, she didn't have any merch.
Oh, there wasn't any merch for Taylor? Huh.
7,000 people?
That's insane. What was her name?
Charity.
Cherry. Do you think that's her real name? Oh, here's Honey. She's back. Hey, Honey, say hi to Drew. Everybody,
Hey,
this is
how's it going?
this is Honey. Hey, Honey. Honey, Honey, my puppy's home. All right, Brett just perfect. Just put Brett
Those
over.
the gold tights. Remember the tights he had with the gold that was on him when he walked past Vince. There they are.
Wait, what scene are you at? Are you 2845?
Uh, he's in the pool. I'm at 29:37.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Here we go. Okay, he's coming out on Raw.
Yeah, right there.
There you go. We're watching Wrestling with Shadows together. Thanks, Sean. Nicole says thank you too. Dang, Alex, you got great taste in women. Your girl is beautiful. Swifticize.
Yeah.
That figure for The Simpsons. Do you have that one?
No, I almost got it once. Something happened. Almost got it one time. I
You
should
gotta
put
get
that
it.
on my list though.
Do you have the Remco one that they came out with recently? The WWE of like it's like WWE superstars or whatever.
I
You have
saw
that,
a
Brett?
picture of it. I don't know if it's hit yet where you can get it. It might
He
be on wrestling.com or something like that.
his like I talked to you this before. I just don't know why they can't get his face sculpt like perfect. It's like Hogan's face sculpt. Have you seen that? It looks just like him.
Well, the Bretts I showed you, they have it.
Yeah, no, some of them
They,
of yours were really good.
yeah, those are the two that the two head types I showed you are the good ones, and the rest of them are kind of messed up.
Yeah.
That's why I would go on eBay. What I did was I went on eBay and I got that head over and over and over again. So I just switched. I would switch the heads. That's what I do. I'm like, oh, Brett's head's messed up. I'll just go in and I'll get one of those again and
Put it on the body.
switch it out. Yeah, that's what I do every time. I switch it out that way. So, boys and girls, learn some action figure skills, and you too can replace parts on your figures. It takes
What
some time and it's very intricate, but it can be learned.
what do you do? Do you boil them or something?
I do use the boil and pop technique when you want to take apart the parts, and depending how detailed you want to get, that's the easy part because that only takes like several minutes of time. But, sculpting and painting and sanding and refinishing, that's a whole nother thing, which
Mm-hmm.
I can also do. But yeah, usually for like the head switch, it's a boil and pop technique. If the parts don't come off easy, like sometimes the heads immediately pop off, depending like if it's a Brett that comes with multiple heads,
Mm-hmm.
then the heads will come off easy. If that's not the case, then you got to boil and pop it and then switch it.
Okay.
And then when it's hot, as you take the head off, set up the head that you want and get that on there as the plastic's heated, let that dry, let it set, get back to normal, and then it'll land right in. So done that long time. Was doing that in elementary school because I read Toy Fair magazine where you learned all about the boil pop technique. So I was going in there, doing that a lot, which was
Yeah.
cool.
I got commercials again.
I got commercials.
Okay, that's perfect then. We'll try to match up after this.
Cool.
Yeah, most action figures nowadays they come with like swappable heads and swappable
Yeah,
hands and
which
like
is really cool.
no,
You know,
it's really cool.
yeah.
It's very cool.
The accuracy is really neat in a lot of figures.
I bought a He-Man figure the other day, and his hand looked like he had broken fingers. And I was like, "Shit!" I just pulled it out of the package, so the hand was already like messed up before I got it out. So I had a bunch of extra hands, and I just swapped it out. So I was like, "Okay, this is like perfect."
Commercials are over on my end. What about you?
Three more.
Okay, I'll pause it here. So do
What?
you got the hands where you had the right hands?
Yeah, I have the correct hands. Yeah. The Masters of the Universe figures, the Origin figures, like if they come with like if you get a whatever He-Man, like it'll come with like hand swaps. So you can pretty much put them on any He-Man. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Awesome.
Head swaps are good. You can put on the new head. You can put on an old head. You can put on like an action head where like wind's blowing his hair or something.
Mm,
Totally different than when we were kids. If your toy broke when we were kids, we were just screwed.
especially He-Man stuff. Yeah.
Oh, you're just screwed. Absolutely screwed.
GI Joe is the only thing you could repair.
Yeah, but
You
like
know.
I didn't even know how to do that back then. I had no
Yeah,
idea how to
you
do
didn't
O
know how to
rings.
do it. That was
No
the
clue.
thing. That was the one that had a shot was that. But yeah, you couldn't. You had to kind of know.
He Man has something similar. They have rubber that goes through the body and through the legs, but it's like extremely difficult to swap those. So
Yes,
difficult that I've never done it.
I've seen people, and it is a whole job to try to
It's a
do that, and it's
bitch.
really
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, I just don't even mess with that. That's kind of thing. I was like, I don't mess with that. The rot of the rubber is it comes. I've seen people with He-Man figures in the package. The legs just fell off because the
Yeah.
rubber dried out.
Like whenever anybody buys mint on cards, GI Joes from the '80s, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but eventually the O ring is gonna snap.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm back now. I'm at 33-39. Where you at?
All right. Let me see. I am at 31-28.
Okay, let me rewind. Okay, 31-28. All right, Brett's going into in this the stadium. There's Hawk hanging out with Animal. Who's that big guy next to Vince?
Uh, I don't know. Oh, sorry.
So they would let Brett put his own matches together.
Sounds like very limited in that. I don't think they hit him up like that every time. Pat Patterson was an interesting guy.
Yeah. There was some like some essay stuff, huh?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he was like trying to use his influence with some of the wrestling guys.
yeah.
But he would
He liked young guys, and he had a lot of stuff going on.
he was on Legends House.
Yes, he was.
Seemed like a nice guy on Legends House.
Yeah, Tony Atlas talked a lot about that. I love Tony Atlas. I hope I get a chance to meet him one day.
He seems like a really good guy. On Legends House, Tony Atlas was kind of like not liked. You remember that?
Yeah, yeah, he talked about that. He's like, yeah, he was like, me and Hillbilly Jim were really cool with each other. Me and Roddy Piper, he said, yeah. He said, for the most part, he said, for some reason in the show, they wanted Hacksaw to act more like a jerk at times. And he said, I didn't understand. He said, I never had a problem with Hacksaw. But he's like, with the show, they had him acting all weird. He's like, I didn't get it. I'm right where you see Stu and Helen.
Yeah, we're identical. They're now Stone Cold and Brett are looking at each other.
Yeah.
We're at the exact same part. 40 minutes.
Ugh.
Okay, here's the spot. The stew spot. Oh, look at this. He goes for stew.
Mhm.
You know Stu was into that. There's Owen with the roll up. Don't fall asleep on me, Drew. I think Drew fell asleep in the stream.
Oh, I'm awake.
That's
I'm
so
wide
funny.
awake.
What time
I'm
is
here.
it where you're at right now?
It is 12:15.
It's 11. It's 11:14 where I'm at. Is he in the car with his son right now?
He is. He is. Blade? Yeah, he's not. Oh, no problem.
Ugh. Broke his sternum right there, dude. Hey, Drew. Oh, is it 2 a.m. where you're at, Sean? I think Drew's going to sleep. Drew is out. If we were lifting his arm up, 1, 2, 3. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end the stream. Drew's out. Hey, Drew, let's call it a night, brother.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you're falling asleep, man. I don't want to keep
I'm
you up.
awake.
No,
I'm here.
no, it's good, man. We've had fun.
Aw.
That's all right. Everybody, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go have Drew pick out a book and read it to him before he goes to bed. All right, love you, man.
Love you too. Be good.
Thanks, everybody who's in the stream. I'll see you guys later. Later, guys.